Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt. So today was my first clinical rotation. Um, I didn't record it all in the car uh, just because I'm so close to my daycare where my kids are. Like, it's not enough time to do a real effective video. So I just decided to come home, get my kids kind of settled down, and shoot this real fast. So as I'd kind of said in the past, I am at a large learning hospital. It's a local university based hospital, so it's actually attached uh, to a university. Like literally, like the whole like south half of the hospital is actually a part of the College of Medicine, College of Nursing, College of Pharmacy for the university. So, um, but basically today we met our clinical instructor. He was really cool. Um, and he took us. It's funny. So we got there at we met him at noon, and he had just been with the morning group from 8 to noon. Um, and so he said, okay, he was going to take advantage of it. He said, first of all, I'm going to take you guys to the cafeteria. So at the cafeteria, so you get a bite to eat, and then we went down to the respiratory department, which at this hospital is actually down in the basement. Um, Basically, it's their report room. So we did met some of the other RTs. This hospital in particular employs something like over 100 RTs. It's a really, really big hospital for the area. So, um, met some RTs. We kind of hung out. He kind of just talked to us for a minute and asked us like, why we wanted to get into it. So that's kind of cool. Get to know him a little bit. He got to know us. Then we started uh, touring a little bit. We first had to go over to security just before that to get our access badges. So and that took like half an hour, and we had to like put a $30 deposit down. Um, Once that was done, yeah, we were able to go back, and we basically toured just the ICUs and the ED. He's like, I'm not going to take you to every single floor. We don't need to tour the ortho floor. We don't need to tour all that. He's like, that's where likely a lot of your people are going to be on the general like med surge floors and things like that. He's like, but we'll figure that out when you guys start going and doing patient therapy. So he was like, basically, we went to like their trauma ED, their regular ED. We went to their peds. We saw all the stuff. They actually they didn't have any traumas in at the time. He said you never know. As students, he said he will do his best to like grab us if he's not holding the RT's like code phone. He'll find out every Wednesday who is, and then that'll give us the opportunity for him to basically be like, hey, if you get a code, call me so I can bring these students down to see stuff, which is pretty cool. I guess he had told us that the first group actually got to bag a patient on day one. That's awesome. It's the only trauma center in town. So, I mean, everything from gunshots to severe car accidents and things like that, all of that comes into this ED or gets flown into this ED. So that's really cool. And we toured all of the ICUs. We got to see a few people who were on serious mechanical ventilation and ECMO and stuff, and kind of say we didn't get to go into their rooms, but he would bring us outside. He knew where the patients were, and we kind of looked and got to see. It's crazy all the circuitry and stuff when you have ECMO and all that kind of stuff hooked up. So it was really cool. This hospital has like 4 different ICUs, and it has a whole center dedicated to canoer, and then the main part of the hospital. So we kind of went all over. It was just really cool to get to see the environment. It's a real hustle and bustle. Like there was not one part of the hospital that was slow. It was fast and busy everywhere from the cafeteria to the units. Like there was just stuff going on everywhere. So that was really awesome. And then I'd been complaining about the parking situation, and so actually at security we got parking permits, so we're allowed to park at there's a like a Catholic church right across the street from the main entrance, so that saves me like, I don't know. I walked 6/10 of a mile today is where I wound up parking um, to get there, so it'll save me like 5 blocks of walking basically. So that's pretty cool that we get to park there. Um, yeah, and then we went back down. We talked about uh, kind of the basics. What all are you guys comfortable with? What do you know? What do you not know? I guess he's kind of filling us up. I mean, he knows it's we're just second semester students, and so our knowledge is limited. And he kind of went over a basic neb with us. He actually had one of those breath actuated nebulizers. He said in their hospital, like you're only allowed to use those on, I want to say he said pediatrics and cystic fibrosis patients. So you're not allowed to grab those for just like people who are, scheduled a neb, Q4 or whatever. So, and he's like, you've seen one of these. You'll be doing this a lot this time, but we talked a little bit about kind of his expectations, and so yep, and then we basically at that point decided, okay, maybe it was like a few minutes early, but he was, basically having any questions for us. None of us had brought our logs for hours. He said, don't worry about it, because he said most of the first group didn't either. So we'll be prepared for next week. But I'm really excited. I know I kind of moaned a little bit. Oh, I didn't really want this. It was my third choice of hospital. But really, it's because it's a learning institution. There's just tons. There's right at noon. In the cafeteria, you see everything from employees and staff. Including physicians and nurses and respiratory therapists and techs and everybody. But then you also see a lot of students. There's med school students, and there's the residents, and there's fellows and attendings all together. We saw, I think, some RTs from one of the other programs in town, so they're obviously later on than us because they were assigned to an RT already doing stuff on the floor. But it was really cool just to see the mix of people, and it's a really, really great place, and I'm glad I got there. I think I'll be able to see a lot of cool stuff that maybe some of the other people at the other hospitals won't get to see in this semester, particularly with the trauma. So I'm looking forward to that. And anyways, I'm just gonna cut this off now. Call it a day. Not a whole lot else to talk about right now. I did get my last book, so just bear with me, and I will go over my books when I have more than just like 5 or 6 minutes to sit down. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I hope everyone's semesters are started well and all your clinicals are going well, and I'll talk to you guys soon.